I'd like to call the December 11th, 2024 meeting of the Ogden Town Board to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd ask that you remain standing for a moment of silent reflection and prayer for military servicemen and women serving around the world, as well as for our first responders. Thank you. Well, thank you everyone for being here today. We will start with approval of the minutes, Resolution 303.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Hinman, seconded by Councilman Gerbino. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next, we have privilege of the floor. Privilege of the floor is a time where if you'd like to come and address the town board on any topic, you can feel free to do so. Is there anyone here that would like to address the board at this time? Hi, Linda.
Linda Gibardo, 110 Ogden Center Road. A couple of questions. The contract with Sahara, why is it 3 year? Was some kind of negotiation? Like, why not 1 year? And you said that you could cancel that contract within 30 days.
I can't.
Is there a fee to that?
No, there is a clause in there for cancellation of the contract. And it is within 30 or 60 days. Off the top of my head, I cannot remember, but it is in there. The reason that we have a 3-year agreement is that's what was negotiated throughout the year. As we've approached the discussion on renovations, that actually came after the contract negotiation was settled. So it gives us the ability to stay or to have some programming there. The biggest thing is to remember is that we have senior programming here at Town Hall. Currently, we have senior programming there at that facility and other places as well. So continuing a relationship there could mean that the town could utilize that in any particular way.
I just want to make sure there wasn't some kind of a fee for
Oh, no.
ending the contract early.
No.
Second question is, do you have any updates on the Gillette Road Bridge? Sorry.
Not us.
Other than what you put on Facebook.
There isn't anything other than, yeah, I'll say it because I don't care. Right before this meeting, I actually received a phone call from Congressman Morelli, who sort of supports an idea that I have, which is that I have asked the county and their attorney that if we don't draw a more definitive line in the sand, that our town is going to hold a press conference and essentially hold accountable the parties that are involved, which would include the county. I was bluffing a little bit, but at the same time, I'm not opposed to a lawsuit that the county would essentially have to enact to basically get things going. The reason that they feel a little bit hesitant to that is that CSX has already promised $3 million for the deconstruction of the bridge. The problem is we need them to contribute $5.5 million total, and they're not. They seemingly are not budging at all.
Where'd that number come from?
The full amount of the project is about $8.2 million, $8.1 million. We did sign on to a grant, a federal grant for $2.5 million. They came up with $3 million at CSX, so that gets us to $5.5 million, and that means that we're at $5.5 million of an $8 million project.
But somebody
So,
estimated the 8 million.
that's correct. Yeah, about $3 million for deconstruction and the rest for basically fill, architecture, design, engineering, and then just make it a continuous county road. So unfortunately, that's where we're at, and that conversation was last week. So I'm not dropping it. If
Do
anything,
you have a next step date?
we do have another call this month, and the purpose of that call is to really, the problem is that everybody around us, so Congressman Morelli, Senator Schumer, and the county, right now, we're all partners. Everybody is on the same side of this, looking at CSX to do more. But as this bridge is in our town, I'm starting to say, if you're not pushing hard enough, we're gonna start needing to get a little bit more aggressive, because from what everybody else is seeing is nobody's doing anything, which is not the case. But that's how it feels to our residents now, and I, for one, am not gonna stand here and,
Well, this will go into the minutes.
yeah, I know, that's why I took a second pause to, before I said it, but I feel very, 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 very strongly on this. And I'll also say this, it's not just an inconvenience, there is a safety matter here. Our fire district and our ambulance district and even our school system needing to get out on Big Ridge Road or getting to that side of town literally have to go all the way around to get to a dangerous situation. And if they don't see the legitimacy of that concern, then I'm half Sicilian. I have no problem opening my mouth and making a big deal. And I'm trying really hard not to yet.
Okay, thank you for that update. And then the last thing, I know you do financial information in these meetings. I was wondering in the new year if you guys could start just giving us a percentage to your budget on each of those accounts. Like, let's say the highway department is overrunning their department by June, like last year, their drainage budget or whatever. It would be nice to know each month, we've utilized 5% of the budget, we're at 10%. And I realize you might reach 60% by March because that's when most of the activity occurs, but it would just be nice to see where you are according to the budget for each of those, at least by department. Just a suggestion would be
Okay?
nice to. Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Linda.
Anybody else have anything to bring to the board at this time? Okay, seeing none, I will close privilege of the floor. If we could move to Resolution 304 under Reports and Remittances.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Councilman Tom, seconded by Councilman Baker. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next, Resolution 305 under Town Audits.
Also moved. Second.
Moved by Councilman Tom, seconded by Councilman Baker. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. As previously discussed, there is a really fascinating, I don't know if this is an article, but it's something by the Department of Health, State Emergency Medical Services Council. It's fascinating that this is by the state of New York, who refuses to consider EMS as an essential service, which is ridiculous. Talking about the shortfalls in emergency medical responders from a volunteer perspective, I give a lot of credit to Mayor Penders, who honestly brought this to my attention and really started the process of us engaging in an ambulance district. On the calls that we have with the supervisors and in the meetings in New York City, towns and municipalities are scrambling right now. And I guess I'm just thankful that there was some foresight in putting a district together here in conjunction with some of our other towns and villages. So after that, reports from town officers. We had a fantastic holiday event here, and it was so great to just see a vision that really came about for the first time carried through. And we had a really good conversation after the fact on how to make it even better, but really reflecting on a lot of the successes here in town. And then the event on Sunday in the village was equally a success, and very grateful that we've got awesome things to celebrate coming off the heels of COVID, where no one really wanted to get out and celebrate. So really awesome to see the community spirit all around. Did swear in since last meeting new officer and also a new sergeant. We did vote on those last meeting. At this meeting, I'm proposing 2 additional officers to replace vacancies, or to fill vacancies, I should say. And that should actually put our corps back to full strength. I mean, you have to understand that it takes a bit to get through the training process and all of that before we are fully up and ready to go with all the shifts covered. January is going to be an interesting month for overtime, just because we still have officers out, but we're expecting to have, with these appointments, a full staff back in place, so it's great news. Something very, very surprising happened this week. I had a conversation with RG&E on something I've been discussing for 2.5 years, and that is the power lines that run right through the middle of Heritage Park. They've been looking at a pole replacement program for those 2.5 years, and I reached out and I said, well, if you're going to move the poles or replace the poles, how about you just move them completely out of the park? For 2.5 years, I've been told no, and a month ago, they came back to us and they said, still also no, but we're going to move them 10 feet for you. Is that helpful? I said, no, it is not. And I brought up a couple different suggestions, and to which they said that it's impossible. You have to go through some state parkland alienation, which is a huge feat. They said we can't do that, and it can't be done contiguously with the project plan. So this week, I got back on the phone with them, and they said, indeed, we can do all of that. And so they are completely moving all of the lines out of the town property and will be part of the county's right-of-way. So they still will do the parkland alienation. Turns out they can do it at the same time. And it's going to be extremely advantageous to the future of Heritage Park.
They're moving both transmission lines?
They are.
Both sets? The
Yep.
one coming from the north and the south?
Yep. I was very surprised.
Where's the north one going?
So the north one is going to basically be where the south one is right now. It's going to go right on the county's property. That's right there in between the park and those houses. And then the one that will be furthest south will go right through the school district, which they're still working on exactly where that's going to go, because it's basically ending up right where their LED sign is. So they've got like 5 different ways to go around it. So extremely excited for that. Very thankful for the work that went into that. Downside, this is happening in 2029. Which is actually a year sooner than originally projected, so. Yay / I guess we'll wait, yeah. I do want to announce 2 other things that are important here. First is Bill Nielsen, who is in our part of our police department in special police, and one of our court attendants. He's celebrating his 25th year here on Friday, so congratulations to him. And on a happy / sad note, this will actually be Mr. Shum's last appearance. I put an asterisk by that in case we ever need somebody to tap in for a second, but his last board meeting after 50 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, it is. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Supervisor.
Thank you, yeah. I will say that we did celebrate Mr. Shum on his 50th anniversary, so this will actually be 51 years. And he certainly didn't want any to do, which is why, it's good to be the supervisor. I can do what I want. And so I'm announcing it, and very happy for you, sad for us, but, extremely, 51 years is tremendous. So thank you for everything.
Sure. Thank you.
Me saying thank you does very little to amount to what you've done for the town, but I am thankful just the same. As you might imagine, a lot of last-minute purchases coming in here in December, and so we're trying to wrap that up for year end. We will go into a work session to discuss a potential new zoning district in work session. I did want to let everybody know that one of our longstanding ZBA members has taken a new position. It's making it a little bit difficult for her to remain, and has submitted her letter of resignation from the ZBA. So we will have an opening there that we'll look at resumes, and I'll sort of propose an appointment to the board for the organizational meeting. The organization meeting will be January 2nd, which is also the day of the first zoning board meeting. So we would be appointing the person to then work a few hours after that at the ZBA meeting. And again, we are well on our way towards having a full agenda for the January 2nd organizational meeting already. So a lot of good work has already been happening in the background to prepare for that. I believe that's it for me. Councilman Baker.
The only thing, great job to everybody that was involved with the tree lighting and the festivities going on here. Parking lot was packed, so I actually had to create my own parking spot when I got here. But it was good. I mean, a lot of people, a lot of smiling faces. Kids seemed really happy, so that's what it's all about. So kudos to Andrea and everybody else that was involved with it. It was great. Also want to extend my congratulations to Mr. Shum. The fire department recognized him at their annual banquet with a very nice plaque and a thank you, so appreciate that. The fire department also recognized Todd Ritzenthaler and Doug Case with a EMS life-saving award for the job that they did with Mr. Vargo in that situation. So we're very honored to present them with that award. And I was also very humbled and honored to be elected to be the president of the Firemen's Association next year. So I'm looking forward to that. And on that note, Merry Christmas. This is our only meeting this year.
Yeah, that's right.
For the rest of the year, so.
That's awesome. Councilman Gerbino.
I had nothing in particular to speak to other than because Mr. Shum is reluctant to be given any praise or anything here, I wanted to jump on that bandwagon. As probably the newest member of the board, Dan, you've been a wealth of information and help where needed for me, and I appreciate it, and I wish you the best moving forward.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Councilman Hinman.
I too want to add on to the accolades for Mr. Shum. You're going to be missed, and if we can get cameo visits back once in a while, that'd be awesome. So you will definitely be missed. So thank you for your service.
Thank you.
I also wanted to mention both what we did here for the town, but also the village for their Christmas service. That was an awesome thing. I think it's just this time of year, it's good to see the community coming together and doing things like that. And it was a great time. Both of them were just a lot of the town there, a lot of people, and getting to see people that sometimes that's the only time you see them is during that time. So it was really nice. Also, I wanted to update you guys on the last ZBA meeting. We had just a pole barn come in, but we also had that one I brought up last time. The resident that's been selling snakes out of their boa constrictors out of their house. They came back. They now applied to have a business, an home business, to do so, and they went over the process of what their house is and what they're doing and why they didn't bring that up, and so we set things in order and got things. I think we tabled it because they weren't really ready to talk about everything, but it's moving forward and it's in the proper. Taking the proper avenues this time, so it's not stuff hidden and trying to hide what they're doing to us, so that part was good, so that's all I got.
Very good. Councilman Thomas?
Yes, the spoils of going last. I also attended Friday's event, and it was very nicely done. And I know that Noel and Andrea did a lot of work along with Christian and everybody else here to decorate not only the facility, as you can see some of it in here, but they also did a lot in coordinating the event and everything like that, so it was well-attended and much appreciated. And also, Dan, congratulations on your retirement,
Thank you.
and I hope we'll see you around. Thank you.
I'll just jump back in and also thank Tony and his crew. The lights around the buildings look amazing, and setting up the tree lighting thing. There is no more nerve-wracking situation than holding the button for the light when you're doing a countdown and it needs to turn on. So thank you for it working, because otherwise that would be very awkward. So thanks again to your crew as well. Mr. Wolf.
Dan, I just want to say congratulations on your retirement. It's been a pleasure working with you. It's been nice having someone to walk up to in your office at any time of the day. Gonna miss that with the new person, but that was
Thanks.
pretty good. That's it.
Very good. Noel.
I too want to thank Dan. He's been so helpful from the minute I stepped into office. He's been right there to help and make sure that everything is done properly and that he keeps me on my toes. So thanks, Dan. We're going to miss you. I also want to thank Tony and his crews publicly, because they did a lot of work. They really made the event what it was. So thanks very much. And we are already working on town and county taxes. So we expect the bill to be in the mail on January 2nd. That's all I got.
Very good.
Yeah.
For the last time, Mr. Schoen.
Yeah, just, I don't have anything in particular to report. I never envisioned 51 years ago that I would be attending my last town board meeting. I remember my first one when I took my oath of office and swore to do the best I could. And I hope I've followed through with that oath of office. Thank you very much for the opportunity and the pleasure to represent the town. I'm gonna miss everybody in the town. Every employee is a client of mine, in respect that I'm the town attorney. I'm not just the town board attorney. And whether it's the highway department, the finance department, the town clerk's office, the animal control, I've taken the opportunity to try to get to know everybody and to, as they say in the oath of office, do my job to the best of my ability. Thank you very much.
There's something that I think that we all hope to hear from the good book, and that is, well done, good and faithful servant. I think that wraps up what you've done for us, so thank you. Well, I don't know how we transition from that, but we're gonna go ahead and try. Oh, boy. Okay, there being no other unfinished business, we'll move to new business. Madam Clerk, if you wouldn't mind.
Resolution 306, authorizing Acton Town Supervisor Mike Sale to execute a 5-year agreement with Toshiba for the provision of cloud-based DocuWare services.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Hinman, seconded by Councilman Gerbino. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next, please.
Resolution 307, appointing Alexandra Regal to the position of full-time police officer with the Acton Police Department, effective December 15th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gerbino, seconded by Councilman Hinman. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next, please.
Resolution 308, appointing Kyle Daly to the position of full-time police officer with the Acton Police Department, effective December 15th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gerbino, seconded by Councilman Hinman. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next, please.
Resolution 309, authorizing Acton Town Supervisor Mike Sale to execute an intermunicipal agreement by and between the town of Ogden and the Spencerport Fire District for snow plowing and salting services at Station Number 3.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Tom, seconded by Councilman Hinman. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next, please.
Resolution 310, authorizing Ogden Town Supervisor Mike Sale to execute a lease agreement between the town of Ogden and Saharo Incorporated.
So moved.
Second.
Moved Moved by Councilman Baker, seconded by Councilman Gerbino. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next, please.
Resolution 311, authorizing Ogden County Supervisor Mike Sal to extend the shared services agreement by and between the town of Ogden and the New York State DOT.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Baker, seconded by Councilman Toms. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next, please.
Resolution 312, authorizing a budget transfer necessary to pay for fees associated with the New York State General Municipal Law, Section 72-C, for expenses associated with training new Ogden police officer recruits.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Tom, seconded by Councilman Hinman. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. I will entertain a motion to go into work session.
I'll second it. No, make a motion.
Second.
Oh, moved by Councilman Tom, seconded by Councilman Baker. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we are going into work session, and